Okay. It's thinking about it. Or am I live? It looks like it's broken.
Are you going live on your page or
on mine? Okay, it looks different than it normally does, so there. Okay. All right, guys. Good evening, morning, afternoon. I don't really know. All day long, well, for that matter, all weekend long, I had people calling, texting, emailing, sending me messages on every kind of social media, wondering what the numbers look like and whether we were successful in achieving our goal with the Restore Freedom Initiative. I have not been avoiding you, and I can guarantee you, and I have about 20 witnesses or so that'll tell you that I have not been sitting on my tush doing nothing or twiddling my thumbs or taking naps. In fact, there's 3 of those witnesses still in the room with me right now, because we have some pretty awesome, hardworking volunteers in this effort with me. So, anyway, so I made it my goal, and I promised everyone that before I went to bed, I would have the updates shared. So it's still my today, even though it's your tomorrow. It's my Monday right now. Oh, by the way, is it the 7th right now? Happy birthday, honey. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I was going to start singing and then I realized the whole world would see me doing that, so that's a bad idea. I will save that just for you when the camera's off.
Yeah.
It is my husband's birthday today, so everyone wish Mike Henry a happy birthday, please. So here's where we're at. Oops, I want to grab my numbers and things in front of me so I know exactly what I'm trying to say to you guys. Okay. So, if you're watching now, I'm guessing you know, first of all, that I'm Catherine Henry, the constitutional attorney. And I'm guessing that you also know that the update we're doing is primarily about the Restore Freedom Initiative, which is our constitutional amendment petition that we've been working on for the last few weeks here in Michigan. Of course, we had the goal of getting 550,000 signatures by today, well, July 6th, 2020. We technically have 180 days to collect signatures, but in order to get us on the November 3rd, 2020 ballot, that means that we had to turn in all of those signatures by today, July 6th. It was our goal to have the 550,000 signatures by today. It was not in God's timing, though, but that's okay because our mission in this regard is not over. The petitions that we have so far are not garbage. The signatures are not being thrown away. In fact, even though we will not be on the November 2020 general election ballot, we will be on the November 2022 general election ballot. So I just want to say that it's been truly amazing to see how God has been working in these last 37 days that we've been doing this. It feels like an eternity. It feels like years, but it's been amazing. So he's brought so many people together to work on this project, and everyone in this has been amazing to deal with. So in the last 37 days, we have grown into a grassroots organization that has roughly 2,000 volunteer circulators, over 500 different signing locations all across the state, and countless other volunteers who do everything from delivering petitions all across the state to organizing one of our many, literally hundreds, of signing events that we've had all across the state. I myself was excited to be able to participate in signing events and freedom rallies all the way up to the Calumet-Laurium area, which, for those of you who don't know, is right here on the other side of the Portage Canal. It's right here. And of course, this is where I was born, was in Hancock. So you know you're from Michigan if you point to your hands to tell people where you're from. Anyway, so if I could be all the way up here doing a freedom rally and then driving around and we're getting signatures all over the UP, and then I'm doing freedom rallies in Petoskey and Traverse City and Rothbury and oh my gosh, Detroit, Lansing, Jackson, Flint, Grand Rapids. I can't even think of them all. It's been amazing. And we've been able to collect signatures in 82 out of the 83 counties so far in Michigan. I mean, that's phenomenal. So, while we did not get the 550,000 signatures that we wanted by July 6th, we are certain that we will get the remaining 350,000 signatures we need by November 13th. So I do have to turn in the signatures to the Secretary of State by, coincidentally, Thanksgiving. And I will be very thankful to be able to have those signatures turned in by that date, knowing what the people of Michigan have done together to put freedom back on the ballot. But in the meantime, I'm excited to know that at this point, we only need 350,000 more signatures between now and then. And of course, you know, this time around, we had so many people saying that they were just finding out about us that we wanted to make sure everybody had that opportunity to sign. And so we extended that signing deadline, or that turning in the petition deadline, till really the last minute. And even then, we've had people turning in petitions not at 8 a.m. yesterday that the cutoff was, but all throughout the day. We had somebody show up at 1 a.m. 24 hours ago. We've had people show up all day today. So we know that, and as of right now, I still know that there's petitions filled out all across the state that people just for whatever reason hadn't gotten back to us. So although our signatures would be due to the Secretary of State on Thanksgiving, we are going to have a strict cutoff date of November 13th. So that way our teams will have the opportunity to go through and do the full verification process for any of those signatures that we had not been able to collect and verify prior to that point. And we will have some information coming out in more detail later, but we're looking at doing something like collection at least once every couple of weeks, like by the 15th and the 30th of every month. Well, basically the 15th and the 30th of this month and of August and September, and then starting in November, probably once every week. So we want to make sure that we have a chance to verify all the signatures so we know exactly what we're dealing with, but we only have 350,000 more signatures to go to make sure that we have a big enough wiggle room, if you will, on any errors that the Secretary of State or the Bureau of Election, State Board of Canvassers wants to say that we have, even though we will have verified all of them. But we'll still leave that wiggle room in there. And with that wiggle room, we only need 350,000 more signatures. Again, we need them from you by November 13th, so we have plenty of time to verify those and get them delivered in whatever snowstorm we're going to have at that time. So number one, I want to sincerely thank every single one of you who's been involved in any way. If you have been someone who signed the petition, some of you have gone hours out of your way to go and drive to sign a petition. I love that. That's amazing. And I can't tell you what that means to me. If you're someone who maybe you weren't even able to sign, maybe you were out of state, or maybe you were in the hospital or caring for a loved one and you couldn't leave, whatever the case was, we know that you've been out there supporting us and writing us thank you notes or sending us cards in the mail or commenting posts of support on Facebook or sending us emails. We appreciate all of that. I mean, honestly, that's the kind of thing that lets us know that we're on the right track and we're able to help you feel like you do have a voice and you do have a choice in getting back your freedom here in the state of Michigan. I obviously want to thank every single one of the circulators we have, we had some rock star circulators. We have a woman named Holly who was out there getting signatures in, I want to say it was 48 counties in the state of Michigan. And she did a phenomenal job. I mean, this woman would sit there she would think of the best locations to sit and sit there for hours. And she was totally organized in how she, was prepared to be able to get people signing from every single kind of county. And I mean, it was phenomenal what she was doing. So we have signing rock stars like that. We have amazing event coordinators and captains and people all across the state. We have people like Jeff Simpson who've been there to help make sure we have security at events. We have people like Lori and Audra and others who were amazing at trying to coordinate or, get our events listed. We have people like Dawn and Todd and a variety of other people who have been making sure our social media presence is, out there, and we're helping to make sure people stay engaged and communicated with each other. So, a couple of things, like I said, we're not done. We're nowhere near done. This is nowhere near over. And I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just my, I don't know, like selfish, but my individual desire to get this on the ballot and to keep going and whatnot. And so there were, at one point, I want to say there were 20 or 25 people in this house yesterday.
Maybe 30. I'm not sure.
Maybe 30. So there were definitely, at the low point, there were 17 of us, and I gathered everybody around after I had a chance to kind of think through things, and we had some of the rough numbers at that point, and I said, okay, this is kind of what it looks like we might be at by the time we're done counting. And, assuming that is the case and we've looked at everything appropriately, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to keep going forward? And the answer was a resounding yes. I mean, literally every single hand was raised, that every single person wanted to have us continue this effort. And every single person that was with us at that time said not only that, but they wanted to stay involved and helping in some way to see this through. So that brought me to tears. I'm not really much of a crier about anything. I mean, I watch sappy movies and I'm like, like no big deal. I remember, I'm going to pick on my friend Matt from Florida. I remember that when we were in ninth grade, we went to see Titanic because, we're old. And I went with my mom and my grandma and my friend Matt. And we went in and watched the movie. We're leaving. And I'm walking out with my grandma and we're like, oh, yeah, it was a good movie. And then we turn around and look. And sure enough, my mom and my friend Matt, a very manly man, don't get me wrong, they're both bawling their eyes out. And my grandma and I were like, what? So anyway, that's just kind of who I am.
Dog movies.
Dog movies?
Dog movies.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't even know the last dog movie I would have seen. A Dog's Purpose was like the only dog movie I think I've ever seen. Okay, if you didn't cry in A Dog's Purpose, then you're just messed up, okay? But anyway, so I'm not really a crier is the point, but a lot of the times when I've been able to get on a stage, and I don't like public speaking. I'll just put it that way. I certainly don't like putting myself out there in front of everyone. I'm a perfectionist. I'm sure every single volunteer who's worked with me could tell you by now that they can attest to the fact that I'm a perfectionist. So it might be my strength, might be my downfall. Either way, it's there. So in any event, when you're a perfectionist and you go out into the public eye and you're saying things and you're proclaiming things and you're being bold about it and unequivocal, that takes a lot. So this is not in my comfort zone. And for me to do that and get up onto a stage and look all around and see at many of these events, there's been thousands of people there. It's just, I can't even describe it. And that's the kind of thing that makes me choke up and realize how God is on the move here in Michigan and how we, the people, are going to take our government back. So anyway, thank you. Thank you to all of you. And so I wanted to very quickly, since it is like the middle of the night and it's my husband's birthday and he has to go to work tomorrow. And obviously, I'll be working on this with several volunteers. I wanted to give you some quick updates on where that leaves us. Okay, so number one, I have made the decision that I'm going to do whatever it takes to see this petition initiative through to the end. And in addition to that, I'm going to continue answering the questions of the people of the state of Michigan, educating the people of the state of Michigan regarding their constitutional rights and, how laws work and what bills are in the House or the Senate, what kinds of things are going on in government, how to be engaged and participate with your government, and how to hold your government accountable. And I'll spend time on educating our legislators and other government officials, like I have, sending letters to the police officers and sheriff's associations all across the state, and or sheriff's departments, and the prosecuting attorneys and city attorneys all across the state. Filing amicus briefs at the Court of Appeals and the Michigan Supreme Court. I'm going to continue doing all of that. Not because I'm making $1 trillion doing so, because, well, I'm not. I've taken on one paid case this entire time since the beginning of April. That's the only legal work I've taken on for pay, was that one paid case. And many of you know which one I'm talking about. And if you do, you know why, because it's a constitutional case. No government official, no police officer, or anyone else of that nature who's taken an oath to defend the U.S. or Michigan constitutions should ever be fired for defending the U.S. or Michigan constitutions, period. So that's the reason why I took that case. And I'm very proud to stand next to Steve, the former police chief of Lowell, in taking that stand. But what I'm trying to say to you is that 100% of my professional time and energy and effort is going to be either on seeing this petition through or on educating the public and the government on our constitutional rights for us as individuals and the constitutional restrictions upon the government, and then all of the little legal pieces in between. So continue watching the videos, continue asking the questions, continue to share with me if you're at a rally and you know of a particular bill that you want me to look at, let me know. I will. So a few things with that. I'm actually going to be, for most intents and purposes, I'll be abandoning my law firm website. You'll see a little bit of info on there because I did forget I was running for township trustee here in Georgetown Township. So if you live in Georgetown Township, don't forget to vote for me for township trustee. And also precinct delegate. I'm sure that's going to win over the hearts and minds of the establishment Republicans. At any rate, so my law firm, Catherine Henry PC, is going to continue, but its sole purpose and function is going to be the education and advocacy related to these constitutional issues for the people here in the state of Michigan. So I will be essentially pausing or folding, or whatever we want to call it, my K Henry 4MI website. Also, those of you who've been in from the beginning with the Stop COVID Chaos website that I've had, you might know that I haven't updated that thing since the day I think we created the Restore Freedom MI website, because it has been an all-consuming adventure, wonderful adventure. So the Stop COVID Chaos website will again, we'll be taking info off of there and basically letting people know that it's not going to be updated, and we will be merging any applicable information from my law firm website and the information that was on Stop COVID Chaos into the Restore Freedom MI website. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going to be as far as websites go. And this website is going to be amazing, by the way. I mean, it's already pretty cool because Brian Bodie and Dana Odell and my super amazing husband, Michael Henry, and my wonderful Batman father, Bruce Reed. His name is actually Bruce Wayne Reed, hence Batman. Anyway, they've been phenomenal in putting this website together and keeping it updated. We're making tweaks. And part of the reason why it's not 1 p.m. when I'm doing this announcement, it's 1 a.m. Because I wanted to make sure that you knew we were organized, we were ready to go, we were totally prepared for the next stage of what this looks like, and we are. So we have new information out. Is that live on the welcome part?
Yes.
Okay. So we have new information out on the welcome or home page of our website. We have a little bit of information on the who we are because, well, from time to time you have a state rep or two that says that someone like me is not qualified to do any of this at all.
Who we are is not out yet. It will be.
That's not on there. The who we are will be on there very, very soon. And individuals in this room have read it. But my hardworking, happy birthday husband is still making that live right now. So the petitions tab that many of you are aware of that has the actual petition language, the link to the Secretary of State website where it's listed with them, all that stuff is still there. The training video is still there, everything. Where to sign, that tab is still there. We are confirming with our signing locations, the homes and the businesses that they are still wanting to be on board. We have individuals that will be calling and connecting with the over 500 businesses and individuals that are listed there. And the frequently asked questions, that will continue to be developed. I have some people that I've brought on board specifically to help me with the frequently asked questions. And so that's going to be a much smoother, more timely process. One thing to note is we're going to do some sort of like bifurcated frequently asked questions section that basically has the constitutional amendment petition frequently asked questions and then constitutional education and advocacy frequently asked questions. So we'll have those kind of separated out a little bit to make it, not too overwhelming that there's like 4,000 questions on there. And so just give us the next few days as we try to work out the kinks and the tweaks about how we need to make that look, but we know what information we're going to be having on there. Of course, we have our donate button because, like I said, I literally I took one paid client this entire time. It's been this is 3.5 months now, and I continue to keep it like that where I'm not going to be taking a bunch of paid clients at this point because that's not. Most of my time needs to be on educating everyone in our state and empowering everyone in our state to know what our rights are, and also to make sure this constitutional amendment gets through and I'm able to travel all over the state and educating people and answering questions and hearing concerns and comments. So anyway, so there's going to be the donate buttons on there. They're already on there. Again, we have the one donate button that is specifically for the costs of this petition, whether it be printing, whether it be, advertising, or we'll get some marketing stuff going so that people can, in fact, see it and know who we are and how we differentiate from some of the other grassroots groups. But this isn't like a marketing scheme in the sense that it's going to be the costs of whatever it's costing, that's what it's going to cost you. We would just want to make sure that we're getting the word out there. This is not a long-term organization in terms of something that we need to make a ton of money on, and so we're not going that route. Let's see. So anyway, there's donations for that, and then there's donations for the work that I'm doing on, I guess you could say, the legal or the advocacy side of things. Resources. We're going to have resources broken into 4 sections. We'll have some documents I want you guys to be able to see all the documents that I've drafted, whether you're looking at the mask exemption form, whether you're looking at the summary, the legal summary of how the executive orders have not been even legal since April 30th, let alone constitutional, or the legal documents, the motions and the briefs that I've been filing with the Michigan Supreme Court and the Michigan Court of Appeals on behalf of the people of Michigan. So all of those things will be there. Government documents. There's a variety of different government documents that we'll be posting there. All of my speech transcripts. If I had a written speech in the first place, the transcript will be posted on the website. And many of those were already posted on the StopCovidChaos.com website, but we'll be bringing those over to this place. And then any additional documents, there's things from the CDC or the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. We have an expert immunologist and epidemiologist, Dr. Martin Dubrovic, right here in Michigan, who's been a phenomenal resource in combing through this information, the statistics and everything. And so information in that regard will also be shared. Then we'll have all the videos like this and other videos that we've done. I have a bunch of different podcasts and other things that we'll be on. And so we'll get those on there. Audio, I've been on Trucker Randy's show up north, and Thayro Nexus show, and Steve Gruber's show, and Justin Barclay's show on Wood Radio, and Tim, I can't remember his last name. Anyway, down in like Battle Creek area, and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all the different radio shows and other interviews like that, those will also be all in one spot so you can see them and listen to them. Links. I have links to the Michigan Constitution, to the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the organizational chart of the legislative branch and the executive branch, information on how bills become law and how our Michigan state government all works together, all that kind of stuff. There's a ton of information. There's information on organizations that fight for medical freedom, like Michigan for Vaccine Choice, or organizations like Michigan Open Carry that fight for our Second Amendment freedoms. Information on places like the Christian healthcare centers in the Grand Rapids area that take clients, by the way, or patients, all over the state of Michigan, in fact, all over the world, because they're a phenomenal non-insurance related medical organization that focuses on treating the entire patient and not just focusing on billing codes and how to get rich. So anyway, there's links to places like that, as well as the organizations that I've personally been involved with or been volunteering or donating to for a variety of years, from the YWCA Shelter House in Grand Rapids to the Pregnancy Resource Center, Hope Unexpected down in Byron Center. Phenomenal programs that I want you guys to know about and get connected with, because grassroots efforts are not just about holding government accountable. It's about being responsible as citizens and individuals and how to give back wherever we can. So anyway, those links will be on there. We also have very specific calls to action, if you will, or get involved section. Is that part live?
Yes, the get involved is on there. Yes.
Okay. So get involved is now live on the website. There are several places though where you might think that there's supposed to be a link. I am still drafting the variety of forms and things. We have a ton more volunteers that we're bringing on board and a ton more things that we're trying to do. So we are, we're expanding that organizational structure, if you will, and the process to make sure it's the same start to finish from this point on forward. So anyway, there's more forms that will be rolled out probably tomorrow, between, tomorrow and the next day or so. And so just keep looking at that. Remember, with our website, for whatever reason, you have to keep hitting the refresh button if you want to see something new. You can't just open that page back up and expect it to automatically refresh. I don't know why. That's beyond my pay grade. But that is a spot that will give you specific calls to action or specific ways to get involved. Testimonials, I did put that on there. Again, that kind of ties into Most of you, I think, feel like you know me well enough at this point because you've been able to ask me questions. You've been able to look at my whole bio that's on Facebook or Google or LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever. Like I don't hide anything. But for those of you who, albeit it's probably a small minority, but for those of you who feel like you don't know enough about me to trust what I have to say, or um, whatever, you just want to know more about that, I put some information from people who have worked with me on that website. Contact us. Okay, so this is super important because one of the main reasons why it's super late at night and I'm just doing this video is because of the hundreds, thousands of people that literally reach out to me every day. My email inbox, I've never seen it like this. I have OCD. I like to make sure that there's no more than 10 emails in my inbox at any given time. It's a little bit different than the person standing up in my office right now who has 72,000 unread emails. No joke. 72,000.
Probably more now.
Probably not more by now because that was like 12 hours ago that she showed me. I like to have no more than 10. That's been my rule for years. I have hundreds in there. It's insane. So at any rate, that's just the one email inbox. Then we have the Restore Freedom inbox. And yeah, we've had a team of people, but we have so many other things going on that the people that were helping with that are now doing verification of signatures because they've continued to roll in. So at any rate, there's a very specific layout and plan about how we're going to communicate with you guys going forward. Number one, we're going to have the captains listed under the Contact Us tab just because, well, that kind of makes sense. And we're adding so much more information. We don't want to have 47 tabs up at the top on the website. Then we're going to have social media, and some important things to note is that I won't be doing videos like this past this week. I will probably do a few videos on my personal Facebook page because I have 3,600 friends, and then I have another 2,500 followers, and so I can't do the math. I want to say that's over 6,000 people that watch me this way. I don't want to lose the ability to communicate with all of you, but I'm trying to get you guys to go to the following pages, okay? I will be doing Facebook Live videos on videos and updates on constitutional educational stuff and advocacy efforts through my Catherine Henry for Michigan Facebook page. Catherine Henry for Michigan Facebook page. It's different than my personal profile that we're seeing this video through now. The Restore Freedom page is where all official Restore Freedom Initiative videos, updates, and information will be. They will not be posted into the group, but for a share from the page to the group. Because we've had, that's a weird bug. Okay, thank you. We've had way too many pieces of conflicting information and different things getting out there. This is our best way to try to make sure everyone knows what the legitimate official words or advice pieces or requirements are from this organization. So the Catherine Henry for Michigan page will be where all updates and videos from now on with the constitutional, educational, or advocacy efforts will be, with the Restore Freedom page on Facebook being where all official Restore Freedom Initiative videos, updates, and information will be posted. The movement page is important. We have many followers on there. That's basically our grassroots collective showcasing all cooperative grassroots efforts in Michigan to restore our freedom. So, we'll have information from time to time about the various recall efforts, or if there's other petitions that will be circulating, or, just an organization that wants to do something of a grassroots nature to restore freedom back here in Michigan. That's what the movement is for. The movement is not solely about or controlled by the Restore Freedom Initiative Committee, okay? And then I will have information on my Catherine Henry for Michigan Twitter account It's actually Catherine4MI is the handle. Those will be tweets on constitutional education and advocacy efforts. And I will make more public the Twitter account for the Restore Freedom Initiative. My Catherine Henry LinkedIn account, if you're on that social media channel, that I'll post when I can to remember to post stuff on there. And I will make sure to update the Restore Freedom and the Catherine Henry PC Google listings so that you'll see postings on there. That's like if you go and do into a Google map and you're searching for Catherine Henry PC or the Restore Freedom Initiative, you'll find that location, and then information and updates will actually be available right there. So it's kind of a convenient resource that doubles with seeing it on a map. So that will be rolled out in the next couple days. And then we have the Michigan Lanterns for Liberty group on MeWe. So make sure to pay attention to that. Our phone and email information will be at, it'll be online and on this contact us page. So we have our events team, and they have their own email and their own phone number. We have our captain coordinators, which many of you have come into contact with. They have their own email and their own phone number. Our distribution and collections team, their own email and their own phone number. And then our communications and administration team is basically the catch-all. And of course, we are the restorefreedommi@gmail.com with the general 616-303-0093 phone number. So that information will be on there. However, there's going to be forms for legal and constitutional advice, representation, and answers. So there's going to be a request for representation on there. There's going to be a request for advice and guidance on there. And then a spot for questions regarding legal and constitutional issues. Just keep in mind that simply requesting for me to represent you does not mean that I will be representing you. I'm only one person, and I stay up way too many hours every single stinking day and worked all day on my birthday, and I'm already working today, and it's my husband's birthday. I worked through Mother's Day and Father's Day. Memorial Day. Like, I skip a lot of opportunities to spend with my family. I'm going to have to start reeling that in. I need to start taking some healthy opportunities to exercise, to eat normal meals, not a few bites while I'm sitting at my computer answering questions. I'm going to need I'll be relying on a lot of our new team members. However, they have lives too. So it's not going to be a 24-hour thing anymore. It's going to have to be reeled into something a little bit more in moderation. I'm still here for you. I'm still going to answer questions. I'm still going to represent people in the appropriate cases, but I can't go taking on every lawsuit against Menards right now, or, orthodontists or doctors' offices who do the most idiotic things. Whatever. All the situations you guys have been telling me about for these last few months, I'm listening, and we're going to do something about it. But I don't have the ability to take on individual cases like that right now, unless I see that there's a particular way to utilize that case to make a long-term lasting change in an immediate kind of way. So anyway, you can make your request for representation on there. You can make your request for just advice or guidance for those situations where that we don't want, you're not trying to get a full attorney-client relationship established. You just want some guidance on what to do if you're on the right track about something, if you're understanding something correct. So that will be available on there. And questions regarding legal and constitutional issues, like you saw a bill like 5672 go through and you're wondering about it and you hadn't heard anything about it, that would be the perfect opportunity for you to send that information to me and ask. All of those will be forms available through the website. Those kinds of things being done through email may very well not be answered through email anymore. We may be directing you right to those forms because I'm literally not able to catch up with people with all the emails I get. We need to be able to do this in a way that I can utilize Teams appropriately. And this is one of the best ways that I can utilize Teams to help me sort out each of those kinds of things. So at any rate, all of that will be on a contact us portion of our website. I don't believe he said if it's on yet. The contact us. Well, some of those forms aren't even up, even if he got that part of it down. But
I think that one was going on tomorrow.
Okay, so that's probably going to go on the website tomorrow or Wednesday. I actually am, for the first time in months, going to go take a break from all of this. So at the very least, for a chunk of a few hours in the evening tomorrow, I'm going to be playing volleyball. I'm super excited. I'm going to be outside in the sunshine. I didn't get to see the sun at all today. I was inside the entire day. So I look forward to being in the sunshine tomorrow with some of my new friends. I have Ashley from the office here and Frankles from the office here.
We love Frankles.
And my friend Anna from the work that I've done at the school doing restorative justice. So I'm looking forward, and my husband will also be there. So I look forward to it. So at any rate, I want to set out clear expectations so that you guys know that I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up on this Restore Freedom Initiative petition. I am not going to walk away from you, the people of the state of Michigan, or I'm not walking away from the legislature or the governor or any of those government officials that need to be held accountable. And I'm certainly not walking away from all the questions that you guys ask. I'm just making it so that going forward, we have clear expectations and we have a manageable way to be able to process all of those requests, knowing that none of the people that are helping me are getting paid. And the only way I'm getting paid from anything is from the kind-hearted donations that people send in. So just keep all of that in mind. And I want to make sure that I'm not going to get burnt out. And I want to make sure that none of the volunteers with us are going to get burnt out because we've all been busting our butts. I mean, everyone has. So I want to make sure that I'm respecting their time and their efforts and their energy while still simultaneously being there for each one of you. So that I think that's all the updates. Does that make sense? Like, okay.
Right.
Are there?
Maybe there might be more, but no, that's good for now. Questions?
Are there?
A couple.
Okay.
Somebody had asked about mailing petitions. I answered it in there, but you might want to touch that we're not mailing still.
We're never, ever, ever going to mail petitions. I don't trust the U.S. mail in this kind of scenario. And even though we'll have a longer period of time to get those back, I just don't trust it. We will figure out ways to coordinate. That's why the circulator application form has been updated, and we'll continue to get some instructional pieces updated on the website so that everyone knows when you are done filling out a sheet, you're going to return it to your area captain, your regional captain. Those captains are going to collect things from all of the circulators in their area. They are going to turn those into the distribution sites or the distribution hubs. And then we'll have runners that will be specific individuals entrusted to, number one, deliver petitions back out to those distribution points, but then also pick up and return those completed petitions back to home base here throughout this entire time. We're not waiting till November or even October to get those petitions back. We will need those coming back constantly so that our team can be validating this entire time, because we have the ability to do that, and we've had dozens of people here validating, but we can't wait till the last minute. I mean, it just simply can't be done. So anyway, so no mailing, but we'll have a system in place to do that, and it's based off of what was already put in place to this point forward. Any other?
They want to know for the contract tracing, how can you help, how can they help, or what can they do? And then somebody had asked about future bills and that kind of things, what kind of involvement are you going to be, the bills?
Okay, so the contact tracing, I don't have any specifics to say on that at all because I've been so busy with all these other pieces. I haven't looked into any of that. The closest thing that's come to it was the 5672 House bill that related to the microchipping and the tracking devices that way. So going forward, any kind of legislative, we're going to have a team devoted to identifying bills and identifying those kinds of government actions that are trying to slide through. We're going to have watchdogs out there looking for those kinds of things and helping us helping me to be able to know when to look into things and be able to jump online and explain them to people. And so that you can in turn around and explain things or ask questions of your legislators or whomever the situation is. So that's definitely going to be a more intentional piece to this whole puzzle. If you are interested in doing that, if you're interested in being one of our government watchdogs, one of our bill watchers, please reach out to us and let us know. And again, we'll have the main volunteer, the general volunteer application online either tomorrow or the next day, because it's just one of the 4,700 things I just didn't get to. But that will have that as one of those opportunities, and it'll spell out what that will look like. But yeah, if you would like to help us with that, that would be great.
Another one they keep asking is, how can Whitler get away with all that she's getting away with when we basically would be reprimanded?
How can the governor continue to act illegally and unconstitutionally when we do that? We get charged with crimes? Good question, which is why I'm not going away. I have no idea why we don't have law enforcement agencies that all swore to uphold the U.S. and Michigan constitutions just sitting by watching her do these things and going, yes, ma'am, I will do this. I don't get it. We're going to get through to them, though. We're going to work as a team, as a grassroots organization, to make sure we are fully educating all of our public officials so we can move forward together knowing that we're going to be respecting the Constitution and we're going to be restoring freedom here in Michigan. As far as how she's been able to do it so far, it's because we haven't had that kind of unity in trying to restore our Constitution, but we will get it going forward.
Are circulators able to circulate more than one petition at once? And are we helping with the recall petition?
So circulating.
Like if they can do the recall, ours, and...
Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you are a circulator for us and you are interested in also circulating one of the other petitions out there, that's fine. What I'm going to say, though, is that no matter what any of the other organizations have told you about what the rules are or what the legal requirements are in filling those petitions out, how do I want to say this? You can use that as applied to their petitions, but not ours. I don't care what they have to say. Act like you didn't even hear it when it comes to filling out our petitions. Number one, it is slightly different because it's a constitutional amendment. It's literally a different chunk of the Constitution that applies here. Because of that, some, but not all, of the legal provisions in our state statutes are different. So there are some things to keep in mind. But I definitely heard in some of the training videos that I was made aware of that the other petitions are saying things that aren't quite correct, for at least as they apply to constitutional amendment petitions. So you can circulate both, or multiple, I should say, but yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. As far as the questions on whether we are specifically like getting involved with the recall petition, I have been working with Chad, here and there. Obviously, I've been spending a lot of my time doing things on this petition. So I have several ideas that I wanted to run past him about how we can try to utilize efforts where the same grassroots individuals want to get involved in the various aspects there. I'm not on their board and they're not involved in our committee, but to a certain extent, we're doing the same things, going in the same direction. And so any areas in which we can do cooperative efforts to achieve the same types of results, I don't see why we wouldn't do that. So hopefully that answers your questions.
You were requested to also join the Michigan for Vaccine Choices if you want to join.
To join the group?
Michigan for Vaccine Choices.
Like
Maya.
I am a member of Michigan Vaccine Choice. I'm also a member of Physicians for Informed Consent, and I'm a member of a bunch of other things I forgot right now. So I'm proud to be a member of those organizations, absolutely.
She's just standing there. I think that's pretty much. I could have missed something, but I think that's it. Yeah. Mike, happy birthday, and they all love you, and we all need to go to bed. I'm specifically pretty sure we were told to go to bed.
Yes, we get to go to bed. Thanks, everyone. I'm so glad you were able to tune in for this. Make sure to tune in and watch it all over again when you're actually, you've had your coffee and you're totally awake and rested. Just keep in mind that there's going to be those updates and those pretty strict changes on how we're going to communicate as far as answering questions, just because I literally am not even seeing Facebook notifications anymore. You guys are awesome, but when I'm getting thousands of notifications every single day, I honestly haven't even been able to see the posts about my birthday because I try to scroll back and see those, and I was getting so many new ones and I try to keep up with them. So to anyone who said happy birthday to me on Facebook, I thank you, and I hope that eventually I'm able to go back in and see that you said happy birthday. Yeah, so it's just too overwhelming. So that's why I'm not going to be doing videos on my Facebook page, this profile anymore. It's going to be through those pages that I said. And again, all of this will be spelled out on the website, so you have this information. But just keep all that in mind. So going forward, you guys know the best ways to be able to reach me in a way that I can actually do a good job of answering your questions and empowering you to get involved. So thank you so very much for everything you guys are doing. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks.